Hi, my name's Casey Brisnehan, and I want to thank you for allowing me to move forward with the second part of this interview process. And I'm going to be sharing some things with you, and I hope that you can enjoy some of the ideas I have for a more innovative classroom and the approach that I'm looking to do if you guys want me to join your team at Innovation Academy. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. All right, and here's a PowerPoint presentation that I created that just again discusses some of the ideas I have moving from beyond my previous role at University of Phoenix, working with adults in a virtual classroom, to the last year I've had experience in my own classroom as a Montessori teacher for 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. Oops, let me go back there just a minute. All right, so here's some of the things that I hope that you'll see in my classroom. First is approach on hands-on learning, and my focus mainly here will be on the science, the subject of science, and some of the experiments and ideas that I hope to be able to share with first graders. So first is, again, hands-on learning. I think especially at young ages, if we can provide that experience where they can see the concrete and the abstract of their lessons, a lot of it will stick more in their memories long-term. Also, instructional conversation. When I think of first grade for me, I remember a teacher standing from the classroom and even at a young age, getting more of a lecture on certain subjects rather than being involved in that conversation. I think that's where we've changed a lot. And I'm hoping that in my classroom, the conversations don't start with just me, that the facilitation happens on my end and the rest of the class is participating in those conversations as well. Another part of innovation, I think, in the classroom would be virtual labs. This will give the students opportunity to see what other students around the world are doing, same age as them, being able to view different subjects that they may not be able to see in a normal classroom. Social media is important. I realize that even at first graders, they know way too much sometimes about the entertainment side of social media, but it can also be a very educational, beneficial thing. So as long as we're using it correctly and creating a safe environment, I hope that my students can utilize that with some of their lessons. Video and PowerPoint. Right now I'm using a PowerPoint, and that's a way for me to communicate with you guys at a distance. But I also think that first graders can use the PowerPoint to present their information as well. So not only would I use those two versions of communication, I want them to be able to use it themselves, because it's only going to help them become better students as they move forward, and those expectations are already there. Mini labs or kits. Something that we instill in Montessori is taking care of things, being responsible. And I think if each student in my class were to have something they're responsible for, whether it's a science kit or maybe it's a math kit for certain lessons, they need to take care of those things. And the more they feel responsible for their stuff, or the classroom's products and materials, the better they're going to be in the future when it comes to taking care of themselves, being responsible for Chromebooks, electronics that cost a lot of money. We need to make sure that they understand the importance of that. Also think storytelling is very important. Telling the past and the present, and even observations about the future, but bringing a sense of history into the classroom with science and discussing previous scientists or explorers or people that have changed the world. If they can have a better idea of who they are, where they come from, maybe they'll relate and have the same desires to move in that way moving forward. A word wall, I think vocabulary is super important to start it out early and build that up. Having a word wall around the classroom that describes specific items or locations, internalizing that vocabulary on a daily basis as they see it will only improve themselves as they move forward. I've also included here text cards. We use 3-part cards in a Montessori environment to help students with memorization. This can also be used when it comes to vocabulary, learning specific materials, the names of products, the names of items that will be used, and I'd like to incorporate that in my classroom as well. I believe bringing the experts in are very important. So crossover learning, having a president of a company that maybe we're discussing specific models within the classroom, having somebody there to provide details of what it's like in the real world. Career days are always great, so incorporating that in the classroom. Always a kid's favorite, museums and field trips. I think those are the best memories I have of school, is remembering that what I learned from those field trips. Again, the real world experience changes kind of the views of students when they get an opportunity that they may otherwise not be able to do. On this next slide, why reinvent the wheel? So a lot of teachers have told me this first year, quit. You need to work smarter, not harder. Quit trying to come up with innovative ideas. While they're great, get used to the process. And these are some of the websites that some of those teachers have shared with me that I would incorporate in my classroom. I think they're also innovative because it allows communication between me and students, my students and their parents, ways to do more exploration online. So I've included here mysteryscience.com, Google Classroom, Kahoot. Lifelike is an app that provides some more science information, virtual classrooms, and videos. Then, of course, WeVideo, Edmodo, Duolingo, Remind, ClassDojo, KidsDiscovery.com, and there is so much more out there that I'm looking for the opportunity to learn more from my colleagues and from the students as well, things that they're utilizing to increase their learning process. Now, I decided to kind of break down a couple of lessons that I would like to see that I think are innovative in the classroom. And I went ahead and took a TEKS for first grade with science. And as I've highlighted here, matter and energy. The student knows that objects have properties and patterns. The student is expected to B, predict and identify changes in materials caused by heating and cooling, such as ice melting, water freezing, and water evaporating. So the next few slides are just a couple of the experiments that I think would be fun, innovative, and useful in the classroom, and also things that they would probably enjoy doing at home as well, and showing off to maybe their older, younger siblings what they learned in class. So one is a hands-on experiment making hot ice. I found these directions at academy.animaljam.com, and an assignment that can be done both inside the classroom or sent as a virtual lesson for them to follow at home. I love how it's clear in the directions that the items that they would need and how to do it. I would encourage students to first record what their hypothesis would be, and then of course move on with their observations and be able to share within the class what they found. A hot air, cold air science activity, also relating to TEKS. I loved when I was looking at this particular activity. This was the last picture they showed, and how exciting it is that this little girl completed this this experiment and discovered what would happen of putting the bottle with the balloon in the hot water. So just the sheer excitement of this girl just made me draw myself closer to this activity, and something that I would enjoy seeing from my students on a daily basis, those aha moments. And again, I just want to thank you for the opportunity that I had to share some of my goals. I hope that this is what you're looking for in regards to an innovative classroom. I know there's a lot for me to learn, and I think Innovation Academy is the place where I could do that. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I included my information here below, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.